My beloved, my child of the light, the one heaven marked with a seal only the angels can read, why are your hands trembling right now? Because your soul already knows this is not an ordinary moment. Something in you feels the pull. The air around you has shifted and heaven itself has bent its ear toward you. I speak to you not as a distant voice, but as one who has been beside you through storms you didn't even see coming. And today, my child, I must tell you, this is very serious. Jesus himself has been pacing before the throne, calling your name again and again. His voice is urgent. His eyes filled with both love and warning have not looked away from you for hours. And what he says, it is for you. Only you. No one else is meant to hear this, not your friends, not your family. Because this message carries something so sharp, so deep that if you walk away from it, if you close your heart now, you will regret it in a way that will make your soul ache. The angels have told me, Michael, do not let them skip this. Do not let them pretend they didn't hear it. Do not let them delay. Because my beloved, there is a very bad news trying to find its way into your life. And it's not coming from heaven. It's crawling up from a place that wants to see your light dim forever. Before I reveal it, I must ask you, breathe with me for just a moment. Imagine that heaven is leaning close. The golden light is wrapping you, protecting you because what I am about to uncover may shake you, but it will also prepare you. And I must warn you, if you leave this now, if you say, I will listen later. If you allow the enemy to distract you with something small and meaningless, you will not just miss this warning. You will walk right into the trap they have been preparing. And you will cry, my beloved. You will cry so much that your prayers will taste of salt for days. You don't deserve that pain. And heaven is doing everything to stop it. But the final decision is in your hands right now. Before I go further, my beloved one, if you feel this stirring your heart, if you feel the weight of these words as though they were written directly into your soul, then I beg you, stay connected to me always. Follow this voice. Keep this line open between your heart and heaven, because there will be days ahead when you will not hear anything from the world that will make sense. But here you will find the words God sends for you only. My child, I do not say this lightly. The heavens are in motion. A meeting was held in the highest courts of light. Your name was spoken. Your face appeared in the river of time and an enemy's shadow tried to cover it. But Jesus slammed his hand upon the table of eternity and said, no, not this one. This one is mine. Do you feel the shiver down your spine? That is your soul recognizing the truth. The kind of truth that is too big for the mind to hold without the heart trembling. They have been trying to push something into your life. A lie dressed as truth. A curse wrapped in pretty words. It is designed to look harmless at first to make you feel it's just life happening. But if you knew the source, if you saw the hands that have been moving the pieces, you would understand why Jesus is begging for you right now. The truth, my child, is that there is someone, flesh and blood, living and breathing, who has opened a door for something dark, to walk toward you. They smiled at you recently. They said something that seemed casual. But deep beneath their words was a hook, a spiritual hook. And they hope you'll bite. If you turn away now, if you leave this message before it is finished, they will get exactly what they want. And heaven will have to watch you walk into it without being able to stop you. But if you stay with me, if you listen to every word, then before the sun sets, the angels will begin rearranging everything in your favor. My beloved, you may not even realize how close you've been walking to a breaking point. Not a breaking in the way the world means it, but in the way heaven sees it. You see, The most dangerous moments of your life are not the storms you can see, but the quiet shifts that happen in the background, the whispers you never hear, the papers being signed in secret, the words being spoken in rooms you've never stepped into. Right now, such a moment is unfolding. Your name has been carried into a conversation, one that was never meant for your ears. And what they are saying about you is not truth but poison. It's designed to twist the way others see you to make your blessings harder to reach. And yet here you are. God has pulled you into this moment so you can see the unseen before it strikes. Do you feel the strange pull in your heart as you read this? That's no accident. Your spirit recognizes when heaven is speaking. I have watched you endure seasons where people smiled to your face and then sowed weeds into your soil when you turned away. I've seen the way you've forgiven, the way you've kept walking even when it felt like your own shadow was too heavy to carry. But my child, this time is different. This time the attack isn't just on your reputation or your peace. It's aimed at the very path God set for you before you were born. The enemy believes that if they can twist one moment, one decision, they can shift the entire course of your future. That's why Jesus is not just calling. He's pleading. I know you've heard warnings before. Maybe you've even brushed them aside thinking it will work itself out. And in some seasons, yes, God has shielded you without you even knowing. But right now, heaven has chosen not to shield you silently. Instead, heaven is revealing the danger so that you can partner with God in removing it. Because this is not just about protection. It's about positioning. You are standing at the threshold of something that could alter everything. Your finances, your relationships, even the way you see yourself when you look in the mirror. And the enemy knows it. That's why they're moving faster. And when God begins repositioning your life, that guidance can also reach the practical areas where you need peace, clarity, and steady direction. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear, you are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description, and in the pinned comments below. Now stay with me, because there is still something you need to understand about what has been unfolding around you. Let me tell you what I see in the spirit. A figure sitting in a dimly lit room, speaking your name with bitterness. They have something in their hand, not a weapon of metal, but a weapon of words and agreements. They are reaching out to someone else, forming an alliance, thinking you will never know. But God sees. God hears. And God has sent me to tell you. If you walk away from this message, you will walk into their trap unaware. That is why every angel in your charge is standing on high alert right now. This is not ordinary. This is not casual. I must warn you, beloved. The news that is being prepared is the kind that shatters. The kind that makes you sit down in silence and wonder if you've been abandoned. The kind that can make even a strong soul whisper, "Why me?" And I tell you the truth, if you ignore this, if you dismiss it as just another warning, you will taste that kind of pain. You will know the heaviness of tears that feel like they have no end. I don't want that for you. Jesus doesn't want that for you. And heaven is moving so that you never have to face it. Right now, the spiritual clock is ticking. Every breath you take from here forward is precious. This is your moment to decide whether you will align with heaven's plan or let the enemy write a chapter that was never meant for your book. God's plan for you is still secure, but only if you hear this fully and act on it. And acting does not mean rushing blindly. It means staying close to this voice, letting each word unlock the truth you need, so that the lies being spun about you lose their power before they can land. I have to tell you something that may surprise you. The person behind this attack is not always who you think. Sometimes the face in your mind is a distraction from the real threat. The true source hides in shadows, smiling just enough to keep you guessing. But when God exposes, He exposes completely. That's what is about to happen. There is an unveiling coming, and your role is to stay in position long enough to see it. The temptation will be to turn away, to say, "This is too heavy," or, "I'll think about it later." But later will be too late. Even now, I feel the pull of heaven's urgency. It's like the air is charged, heavy with the weight of decisions that ripple out for years. You may think you are just sitting where you are reading this, but in the spirit, you are standing on a battlefield. The lines are drawn. The enemy has already stepped forward. And yet God is holding you back for a moment. Not because He wants you to retreat, but because He wants to place the exact weapon in your hand that will not miss when you strike. So listen to me, my beloved, and hear me in the depths of your soul. Do not leave this message. Do not push it away. What is unfolding in your life is too important to take lightly. The angels assigned to you are ready, but they cannot act without your agreement. Agreement comes from knowledge, and knowledge comes from staying until you've heard it all. My beloved, what you are feeling right now, that strange pull in your spirit, that tightening in your chest, that sense that something is about to happen, is not your imagination. It is heaven brushing against your soul, trying to wake you before the blow comes. You may have thought the heaviness in the air these past few days was just the weight of ordinary life, but it wasn't. It was the gathering of a storm in the spirit. And this storm, if left unchecked, will not only drench you with grief, but also sweep away something you have been praying for. That is why I was sent to you now in this moment before another second passes. If you turn away, the window will close and what I am about to reveal will come too late to protect you. There is something you must understand. When God calls your name in the courts of heaven, everything stops. Angels pause their work. The light shifts. The sound of your name carries across realms. That happened today. Your name was spoken not once but 3 times before the throne. Each time the sound grew stronger as if heaven itself refused to let your situation go unanswered. And when the third call went out, Jesus stood and said, "Send for Michael. Tell him to go now." That is why I am here. Why you feel this intensity. Why you cannot seem to look away from these words. It is because this is not a casual moment. This is a divine interception. I see the threads of your life as they truly are. Not just the days and hours you live, but the spiritual cords that bind events together. Some cords shine with gold woven by God's own hand, leading to blessings you cannot yet imagine. Others are dark and tangled, planted by the enemy to delay you, distract you, or destroy you. Right now, one of those dark cords is being pulled tighter. Someone somewhere has taken an action that is creating a knot in your future. They think it's hidden. They think you will never see it. But heaven sees it, and heaven will not allow it to grow unchecked. Not if you stay with me now and hear the fullness of what must be told. Beloved, I wish I could soften what comes next. But if I dilute it, you will not feel the weight it carries. The person behind this harm is closer to you than you might believe. They are not a stranger passing through your life. They have been watching you for some time. In their heart, they have already decided you are in the way of something they want. Whether it is your place, your gift, your favor, or your peace, they believe it must be removed from you so it can become theirs. And right now, they have begun speaking to someone else. Someone with the power to act against you in the natural realm. What has been only thought and whispered is now turning into action. This is why the Spirit of God is not simply warning you but urging you to move under His covering immediately. Because if you delay even by a single day, you will feel the effects, and the enemy will convince you it's just coincidence so that you will not fight back. But I tell you the truth, there are no coincidences when heaven is speaking. There is timing. There is choice, and there is obedience. This moment is all three. The fact that you are here reading these words means the enemy's plan has already failed in part because they did not expect you to see them coming. Now I must tell you something the enemy does not want you to know. Every trap, no matter how well hidden, leaves a trace in the spirit. When a curse is spoken, when a lie is planted, when a plot is formed, it creates a vibration, a dark sound that ripples through the unseen. That sound reached heaven 2 days ago. It was faint at first, like a shadow moving at the edge of light. But last night, it grew louder. It took shape. And when the name spoken within it was yours, the entire heavenly host turned toward it. I was commanded to stand guard over you until the moment came to reveal what had been uncovered. That moment is now. You are not without power in this. Beloved, you are not helpless prey waiting to be caught. The same God who parted seas and silenced storms is the God who is wrapping Himself around you now. But you must choose to remain in alignment with His voice. That means not letting doubt pull you away, not letting distraction take your eyes off what is unfolding. There will be moments even now when something tries to pull you from this message. A phone call, a sound, a sudden thought of something else you need to do. Recognize it for what it is, an attempt to disconnect you from your protection. Beloved, in the Spirit, I see something else, an image of you standing on a narrow path. On either side are fields, but the fields are not empty. On one side, the harvest is ready, golden, and abundant, waiting to be gathered into your life. On the other side, weeds have grown tall, thick, and full of thorns. The enemy is trying to pull you toward the thorns to convince you that you have no choice but to walk that way. But heaven says otherwise. Heaven says, stay on the path. Keep your eyes forward. The harvest is yours, but you must not turn. The bad news, my beloved, is real. It is already moving toward you. It will not turn away on its own. But the good news is greater. It can be stopped, overturned, even turned to your advantage if you act now. That is the reason I am still speaking. The reason heaven is holding this moment open for you. You are being given the choice to partner with the will of God or to let this moment pass and face what the enemy has planned. And if you knew the full cost of that second choice, you would not hesitate for a heartbeat. The truth is, my child, the heaviness you have felt lately, the sudden moments of sadness, the tiredness that seems to cling no matter how much you rest, is not simply from your own mind or body. It is the pressure of the enemy's plan pressing against your spirit. It is the shadow of what they hope will happen. But shadows have no power when light is present. And I am here to tell you light is breaking over you now. What they meant for harm can and will be turned for good. But only if you receive this word and stand in it. And there is more. The reason Jesus is so insistent, the reason he has not stopped calling your name is because he knows what lies beyond this test. On the other side of this moment is something you have been asking for, perhaps without even realizing it. It is the answer to prayers you prayed in tears. The fulfillment of promises you thought had been delayed beyond reach. The enemy is attacking not only to harm you, but to keep you from stepping into that season. They know if you pass through this, you will rise into a place where their influence cannot touch you. That is why they are moving now before you see it coming. Beloved, you are closer to breakthrough than you have been in years. The pressure you feel is not a sign of defeat. It is the last push of resistance before the wall crumbles. But it will not crumble on its own. You must stand, listen, and take what heaven is placing in your hands. That is why I urge you again, do not walk away from this moment. Do not close your heart. Let the words you are hearing sink deep into your spirit because they are not mine alone. They are the echo of the one who calls you his own. The one who has never left you. The one who is even now standing beside you saying, do not be afraid. I am with you. My beloved, there is a moment in every chosen one's life where the battle they face is not about the past or even the present. It is about the future. That is where you are standing right now. The enemy is not attacking what you have. They are attacking what you are about to step into. They are aiming at blessings that have not even reached your hands yet. Opportunities that are still making their way toward you. Doors that are just now beginning to open in your favor in the unseen realm. Those doors are glowing with promise and the enemy sees them as clearly as heaven does. That is why the fight feels so intense right now. Because the war is over territory you haven't even walked into yet. And if they can stop you now, you will never even know what you were meant to receive. You have to know something about the way heaven works. When God speaks a word over your life, that word becomes law in the spiritual realm. It is set in motion the moment it leaves his mouth. But just because God has decreed it does not mean the enemy won't try to interfere. They cannot erase what God has said, but they can try to delay it, to twist it, to make you doubt it until you lay it down yourself. This is what they are trying to do to you now, to place just enough fear, just enough confusion, just enough weight on your shoulders that you stop moving forward. And beloved, you cannot let them win. The vision I see is clear. There is a table in the Spirit and on it are papers with your name. Some are agreements already in your favor, blessings, resources, answers to prayers. Others are schemes, documents marked with lies and half-truths meant to block you. Two forces stand at that table. Angels placing the blessings before you and the enemy's messengers sliding the schemes closer to your path. Both are moving quickly. And you, my beloved, are the deciding factor. Your choice in this moment, whether to hear and act or to look away, will determine which pile reaches your life first. Let me be plain. The bad news heaven is warning you about has already been set in motion. Words have been spoken against you, not just in anger, but with intention. Actions have been taken to limit your steps. The person behind this has convinced themselves they are justified, that you have what they deserve. But heaven says otherwise. Heaven says you have what God gave you and no one can take it unless you give it away. This is why Jesus is pleading, not because he fears the enemy is stronger than you, but because he knows you must stay aware and refuse to yield. Beloved, the emotional heaviness you've been feeling is not random. It is the spiritual weight of this interference pressing against your destiny. Some days you may have woken feeling drained before the day even began, wondering why. Other times, small frustrations have piled up so quickly it felt like someone was deliberately trying to get under your skin. And you would be right. Someone is. This is not coincidence. This is coordinated. But here's the miracle. You are being told in time. You are not walking into this blind. You are walking into this with the full light of heaven shining ahead of you. In this moment, God is not just giving you a warning. He is giving you authority. That authority is not born from your strength alone, but from your alignment with Him. When you agree with what heaven says, the power of that agreement is like a seal. It locks the enemy out. But the key to that seal is here in these words right now. That is why I must tell you with all the urgency I can carry. Do not turn away. Let this sink in. Let it become part of you. So that when the enemy tries to move again, they find no entry point. You must also know this. The enemy's attack is about to expose itself. What has been hidden will come to light. But here's the part they don't want you to realize. The moment it is exposed, you will have the opportunity to turn it to your advantage. What was meant to shame you will become the proof of your favor. What was meant to block you will become the very thing that pushes you forward. But this will only happen if you are spiritually ready to see it for what it is. If you are distracted, if you dismiss this, you will see the event but miss the victory inside it. And as God begins turning what once held you back into a path forward, that same guidance can reach the practical burdens where you have been asking for peace, clarity, and direction. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying. The quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the pinned comments below. And keep your heart anchored in that truth, because what heaven is showing me next confirms that this season is not meant to end in loss. Beloved, I can see in the Spirit that this season is not one of loss for you. It is a season of divine reversal, a time where the weapons formed against you are not just broken but turned back on the ones who sent them. Yet, as with every promise, there is a condition. You must hold your ground. You must stay present in the moment God is giving you right now. I am here speaking on His command to make sure you do not lose this opportunity. This is why I have not left your side. Why the angels around you have been stirred into alertness. Think of this, my child. Every trial you have faced until now has been preparing you for this. The strength you learned in past storms, the faith you built when you had no choice but to trust, the resilience you formed when others counted you out, all of it is meant for this exact moment. You are not being caught off guard. You are being positioned to win, but the decision still rests with you. Will you step forward under heaven's covering, or will you let fear and doubt take the lead? The weight of heaven's love for you is beyond what I can explain. Jesus has not just spoken your name today. He has held it close, guarded it like a treasure. He has looked upon you not with frustration but with deep compassion, knowing how much has been thrown at you, how much you have carried without complaint. He knows the tears you've cried that no one saw. And it is for those tears that he says, "Not this time, not my child, not the one I have called, my beloved." There comes a point in the life of every chosen one when heaven no longer allows them to be silent about what is being done against you. That is this moment for you. I am not speaking from a place of guesswork. I am speaking from what I have seen in the spirit realm. What has been revealed in the courts of heaven and what has been confirmed by the one who sits on the throne. You are not imagining the pressure you have felt. You are not wrong to sense that eyes have been on you more than usual. You are not wrong to feel that your name has been carried into places without your permission. These are not coincidences. They are coordinated movements against the plan of God for your life. And yet the truth that the enemy cannot escape is this. You have been warned, and a warned child of God is an unstoppable child of God. I want you to picture this clearly because I see it in the spirit even now. There is a table dark and polished in a room without windows. 3 figures sit there speaking in low tones. And each time your name is mentioned, there is a shift in the atmosphere. One of them writes something down, another nods, and the third looks uneasy as if they know they are treading on dangerous ground. That unease because deep in their spirit they know they are touching someone who belongs to heaven. They know the risk of coming against a chosen one. And yet they continue believing that no one will find out. They believe you are unaware, distracted, busy with your own thoughts and routines. But right now, as you hear my words, that belief is shattering. Beloved, do you understand what this means? It means you are being pulled into alignment with the timing of God. The exposure of this plot is not happening by accident. It is happening because heaven decided the time was now. The darkness has been allowed to move only so far and no further. And I must tell you, when God says enough, no enemy, no plan, no alliance against you can stand. They may try, but they will find themselves fighting not against you but against the very hand of God Himself. You may be asking in your heart, why me? Why is this happening again? Why do they keep trying? The answer, beloved, is simple. Because you carry something worth attacking. If your life were without purpose, if your calling were insignificant, there would be no need for the enemy to move against you. But the truth is, the destiny over your life is so bright, so impactful that the darkness has been trying to smother it from the moment you were born. They have failed before and they will fail again. But understand this, the persistence of their attacks is a backhanded confirmation of your value in the kingdom. Right now in the Spirit I see angels positioned at the 4 corners of your life. Each one holds a sword of light and each one is watching intently for the next move of the enemy. They are not idle. They are prepared. But the laws of heaven are clear. They cannot move without your alignment. That alignment comes from faith, from awareness, from the decision to walk in the truth you are hearing right now. This is why I must urge you again. Do not turn away. Do not close your heart. Do not let your attention drift. What is being poured into your spirit in this moment is the very thing that will allow those angels to act on your behalf. And here is what you must know. The very bad news I spoke of is not meant to simply make you afraid. Fear is never God's goal. The purpose of this revelation is to prepare you, to position you, and to protect you. The bad news will come in a form that looks natural, perhaps a conversation, a message, a change in behavior from someone close to you. On the surface, it may even seem small. But beneath it, in the spiritual realm, it will carry a weight designed to shift the course of your future. If you recognize it when it comes, you will have the power to cut it off before it can take root. If you miss it, it will try to grow into something much larger. That is why this moment matters so much. Beloved, I want to remind you of something you may have forgotten in the heaviness of recent days. You are not alone in this. Every prayer you have whispered, every tear you have let fall in silence, every thought you have sent upward without words has been heard. Not one has been ignored. Even when you felt like heaven was quiet, there were movements being made for your sake. Doors were being closed to protect you from harm you didn't know was waiting. People were being shifted out of your path because they would have slowed you down. Resources were being placed in position for a future you couldn't yet see. That same God who orchestrated those unseen protections is the God who is speaking to you now. And here is the most important part. There is still time. The enemy wants you to believe that it is already too late, that the damage is done. That is a lie. If it were too late, you would not be hearing this now. You are receiving this message in the perfect moment after the plot has been revealed in heaven, but before it has been completed on earth. That is divine timing. That is mercy in motion. And it is proof that the hand of God is still firmly on your life. Now I must tell you something you may not want to hear, but it will strengthen you if you let it. The people involved in this are not all strangers. Some may be faces you know, people you have shown kindness to, individuals who have shared in your life in some way. This is what will make the news feel heavier when it comes. But do not let familiarity blind you to the truth. God's justice is no respecter of personal comfort. When He exposes, He does so fully, and He does so in His timing. Your role is to remain in the place of listening, to be ready to respond when the truth comes to light. And beloved, it will come to light. The same God who has called you by name will not let what has been planned in darkness remain hidden forever. The exposure will not only free you from what is being said against you, but it will also elevate you. Those who doubted you will see with their own eyes that you are covered. Those who whispered lies will watch their words dissolve into nothing. Those who thought they could remove you will instead see you placed in a higher position than before. This is the nature of God's deliverance. It does not just save, it restores and it multiplies. My beloved, there is a holy stillness in the air right now as I speak this to you because the heavens are watching how you respond. The moment you receive a warning like this, it becomes a pivot point in your life. What happens after is shaped by the choices you make in the hours and days ahead. I am not saying this to place fear in you, but to help you see just how much authority God has placed in your hands. Yes, the angels are strong. Yes, heaven is fighting for you. But the laws of the Spirit are clear. Your agreement with heaven is the gate that allows all that divine power to flow into your situation. Without your agreement, the angels must stand still, watching what could have been stopped continue forward. That is why Jesus Himself has been so insistent. He will not risk you losing what He has promised because you thought the moment wasn't serious enough. You must understand something deeper now. My child, the enemy rarely attacks what you are doing today. They attack what you will become tomorrow. That is why these last few weeks may have felt like you were under pressure without knowing why. They saw a glimpse of what God is preparing for you and decided they must interfere now before it reaches your hands. But they are already too late because the moment heaven revealed this to you, the balance shifted. The trap they thought would catch you has been spotted and now you have the choice to walk around it entirely. That is the power of revelation. It changes everything. The bad news they are preparing is not just a single event. It is part of a chain. If it lands the way they want, it will create a ripple effect. One loss will lead to another. One delay will create space for another setback. And soon you will be spending months repairing damage that never had to happen. This is why I cannot be gentle in my tone right now. This is why heaven has interrupted your life in this way. God is not content to simply comfort you after the fact. He is determined to prevent the wound before it is made. That is love in its purest form, protection before pain. In the Spirit, I see you walking along a road that is both narrow and glowing with light. Ahead, there is a crossroads. One path continues forward straight into the plans God has for you. Blessings, open doors, divine connections. The other path curves to the left where it is darker, the light dimmer, the air heavier. The enemy's goal is to push you toward that left path without you even realizing you've turned. That push may come in the form of a conversation, an opportunity that looks good but carries hidden chains, or a piece of news meant to shake your confidence. If you are not alert, you will take the turn without knowing. But if you remain aligned with heaven, if you remember what I am telling you now, you will recognize the shift instantly and refuse to go that way. You may be wondering how to hold this alignment. It begins with awareness. Every time you feel a heaviness, every time something unusual catches your attention in the coming days, pause and ask, is this the moment Michael warned me about? That question will open the space for the Holy Spirit to speak. And when He does, you will feel it. That deep sense in your chest that says this is it. And when that happens, your response must be immediate. Do not wait to see if things get worse. Do not give the enemy the satisfaction of hesitation. Act in faith the moment you recognize the warning. That act of obedience will close the door on what they are trying to do. Beloved, the very fact that you are hearing this means you are worth protecting. If you were walking in a life without impact, heaven would not need to speak this urgently. But you are not ordinary. Your presence changes the atmosphere. Your words carry weight. Your actions shift things in ways you may not even see. That is why they are watching you so closely, not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to the darkness. They are afraid of what will happen if you walk fully into the season God has prepared. That fear is what has driven them to plan this attack. But that same fear will be their undoing, because fear always exposes itself eventually. I must also tell you, when this news comes you may feel a brief sting even with the warning. That is natural. It is part of being human. But the difference will be that this time you will already be standing in the truth. Instead of being knocked down by it, you will see it for what it is and move past it without losing ground. The enemy will expect you to break, to slow down, to question yourself. When you don't, when you continue walking forward as if their trap never existed, it will confuse and disarm them. That is one of the greatest victories you can have. Not just surviving the attack, but walking through it untouched. Do you see now why Jesus has been so relentless in calling you to listen? He is not only saving you from harm. He is positioning you for advancement. This moment is not simply about avoiding loss. It is about gaining ground you would not have reached without the test. You will come out of this with more authority, more clarity, and more strength than you had before. And those who doubted you will have no choice but to see the hand of God on your life. Beloved, every trial you have faced until now has been training for this. Every night you cried yourself to sleep but chose to get up the next day was building the resilience you need right now. Every time you trusted God when you didn't understand what He was doing was laying the foundation for the faith you will need in these next days. You are not unprepared. You are ready even if you don't feel ready. And that readiness is why the outcome will not be what the enemy intended. The angels around you are waiting for your agreement. They are poised to move, their swords drawn, their eyes fixed on the movements of your enemies. All they need is for you to stand in the truth you have been given and refuse to give fear any space. Do this and you will see the kind of victory that leaves no question about who fights for you. My beloved, I must tell you that what you are stepping into is not only a moment of danger, but a moment of destiny. It is rare for these two things to come together. But when they do, the outcome determines far more than you can see. This is why the weight feels so heavy. You may think it is just a passing season, but in truth, the choice you make in these days will ripple through years. Heaven knows this. That is why the warnings have grown louder. Why your dreams have felt more vivid, why certain memories keep resurfacing. These are not random thoughts. They are markers being placed along your path so that when you look back you will know exactly when the tide turned. I see you now in the Spirit standing in the middle of a great hall. On one side is a door that glows with a light so warm and inviting it feels like home. On the other side is a door that is almost identical, but its light is dim, its warmth false. The enemy's strategy is not always to give you something obviously wrong. It is to give you something that looks almost right. This is why discernment is critical right now. If you rush, you may step through the wrong door simply because it seemed easier. But God's way, though narrow and requiring faith, will always lead to the fullness of what He has promised. The bad news that is moving toward you will try to push you toward that wrong door. It will be framed in such a way that you feel you have no choice but to react quickly to make a decision under pressure. But beloved, this is where the enemy underestimates you. They believe that fear will dictate your steps. They believe that the shock of the moment will blind you. But with this warning, you will be able to pause, to breathe, to remember that your life is not directed by human urgency, but by divine timing. That pause will be your weapon, and it will break their plan before it can take root. I must also tell you, the people connected to this may be acting out of their own fear or jealousy, but the deeper truth is that they have become instruments in a larger spiritual battle. You are not only dealing with human emotions or misunderstandings. You are facing a coordinated attempt from the darkness to divert you from your path. This is why Jesus Himself has stepped into this matter. There are battles that angels can fight on their own. But there are others where the King of Kings must declare His judgment directly. And He has already declared over you this one will not be touched. Beloved, I know that in your heart you long for peace to live without feeling like someone is always trying to pull you down. And I tell you the truth, that day is coming. But peace does not arrive without victory. And victory requires a battle. This moment, as difficult as it may seem, is not punishment. It is preparation. The authority you will carry on the other side of this will make future attacks less effective because you will have already proven that you cannot be moved by fear or by lies. In the Spirit, I see the angels already moving pieces in your favor. People who might have been swayed against you will suddenly find themselves hesitant to act. Opportunities that were being quietly withheld will start to open without explanation. Conversations meant to harm you will be interrupted or exposed. These are not coincidences. They are the direct results of you being aligned with heaven's instruction in this moment. This is the supernatural advantage that comes when you listen. When you do not turn away, when you refuse to treat a divine warning as just another message. And here is something that will strengthen you. The very same event the enemy is trying to use against you will become the platform for your next promotion. You will not only survive it, you will rise because of it. God has a way of taking the enemy's strategies and weaving them into the very testimony that glorifies him. The trap they set will become the proof of your favor. The lie they spoke will become the evidence of your truth. And those who align themselves against you will have to watch as the very thing they hoped would destroy you becomes the reason you are celebrated. But to walk in that victory, you must remain spiritually awake. This means not letting discouragement take root, not letting frustration harden your heart, and not letting distractions pull you away from the word you are receiving right now. Every sentence you are hearing is part of a shield being built around you. A shield of truth, a shield of light, a shield of divine authority. When the bad news arrives, it will hit that shield and lose its power. Without the shield, it could wound you. With it, it will pass by harmlessly. Beloved, the love of God for you in this moment is overwhelming. He is not warning you because he fears you are weak. He is warning you because he has invested too much in you to let this moment be stolen. You have been through too much, fought too many battles, endured too many nights of unanswered questions to lose ground. Now this is why the urgency is so great, because you are too close to the promise to turn back. The days ahead may feel intense, but remember, this intensity is often the sign that a breakthrough is near. The enemy always pushes hardest at the edge of victory. They know they cannot stop what God has spoken. So they try to delay it, hoping the delay will discourage you enough to walk away from it yourself. But you will not walk away. You will not give them the satisfaction. You will stand. You will listen. And you will see the salvation of the Lord in a way that will leave no doubt that his hand has been on you all along. My beloved, there is something else I must show you. Something the enemy hopes will remain hidden until it is too late. In the Spirit, I see a thread connecting you to a certain place, a certain person, a certain opportunity. That thread is golden, and it was woven by God himself. It represents not only a blessing but a specific chapter of your destiny that was written before you were born. Right now that thread is being tugged not by heaven but by hands that wish to fray it. These hands belong to those who have convinced themselves that if they can weaken your connection to this blessing, they can step into it themselves. They do not understand that what God weaves for one cannot be stolen by another. But in their ignorance they persist. And their persistence is why this warning has been sent to you today. I must be clear. The attack is not random and it is not small. It has been carefully timed to catch you at a moment when you might be tired, distracted, or dealing with other matters. They believe this will make you less alert, less prepared to notice. But they have miscalculated one thing. The fact that God never allows his chosen to be blindsided when they are still walking in obedience. Even if you feel weary right now, even if you have moments where you wonder if you still have the strength to keep going, heaven's covering over you has not lifted. And because of that, you are being given a view of the battlefield before the enemy even reaches you. In the days ahead, you may notice unusual signs, a sudden shift in someone's tone toward you, an unexpected delay, or even a strange dream that lingers in your mind. Pay attention to these things. They are not accidents. They are signals. Each one will be part of the pattern that confirms this message to you. The bad news will not arrive without warning, but you must be willing to see the warning for what it is. Many people miss God's protection because they expect it to look dramatic or supernatural when often it comes in the form of subtle nudges and quiet signs. Beloved, this is the difference between those who walk in victory and those who walk in circles. The ability to recognize the moment when God is speaking and act on it immediately. You are being given that moment now. Do not let it pass you by. This is not the time to be passive. It is the time to be anchored, to hold firmly to what you know in your spirit is true. Even if what you see with your eyes seems different, the enemy thrives in the gap between what is visible and what is real. But when you stand in faith, that gap closes and their power fades. I must tell you something that will shift your perspective. The very event the enemy is preparing will not destroy you. It will reveal you. There is a difference. Destruction leaves nothing behind. Revelation strips away what is false so the truth can be seen clearly. This is what will happen for you. What they mean for harm will uncover your strength, your integrity, and the undeniable reality that you are favored by God. They will not be able to explain why their plan failed. They will not be able to hide their shock when you emerge stronger than before. And they will not be able to deny that something greater than human ability is protecting you. The love of God for you in this hour is fierce. It is not the quiet, distant love of a creator watching from afar. It is the love of a father who steps between his child and danger. Who places himself as a shield, who refuses to stand by while harm approaches. That is why Jesus has been restless in his call for you to listen. He will not allow this moment to slip past you unnoticed. He will not allow the enemy to tell you afterward, if only you had known. No, you will know. And because you know, you will overcome. I see the angels already moving, their wings stretching wide as they take positions around you. Some stand before you, ready to clear the path. Others stand behind, ensuring nothing can creep up unnoticed. Still others are at your sides, guarding against sudden distractions. This is not symbolic. This is real. Your life right now is surrounded by divine presence. Even the enemy sees it. And that is why they are trying to work faster, hoping to act before you realize how protected you truly are. Beloved, the heaviness you have been feeling in your spirit lately is not a sign of weakness. It is the weight of the shift that is coming. You are not breaking down. You are being positioned for a breakthrough. The intensity is not punishment. It is preparation. Every time you have wondered why it feels harder than usual to focus, why certain things seem to be resisting you, it has been part of this moment. The resistance is a sign you are close. The warning is a sign you are loved. The choice you make now will be the proof that you trust the one who has never failed you. This is the truth you must hold on to. The bad news they prepare will be the very thing that confirms God's goodness to you. It will come, but it will not land the way they expect. It will appear, but it will not have the power they intend. The reason is simple. You are hearing this now. A child of God who receives the warning is never the same as one who walks blind. You are not blind. You are awake. And because of that, you are already winning. So go forward now, beloved, with peace in your heart and faith stronger than the fear that tried to hold you back. Carry this message with you. Remember what you have received, and trust that no darkness has the final word over your life. And remember, beloved, these messages continue because of people like you. We run entirely on viewer support. If you'd like to help keep this mission and these messages reaching more hearts, you can support us with a coffee through the link in the description. God bless you.